Okay, it's time to start getting data from the database. I built this hard-coded JSON structure in PHP, and I'm going to break it just a teeny bit. I'm going to change train spotting 2 to train spotting 3, and see that change comes through in my page. Reload. You can see there it now says train spotting 3. What I want to do is to replace this value with something that I read from the database. Now the nice thing is about this ret structure is that I can access that in PHP. I can, for example, ask for $ret square brackets, what is it, title, and I can change that to anything I like. So I can change it to T4 train spotting. Okay, write that out and reload, and now it's movie T4 train spotting. Okay, but I don't want to, that's just replace one hard code with another. I want to get that value from the database. So let's do some database stuff. No need to indent, I'm at the top level here. So I want to open a database, and I'm gonna cheat and find some code I've written before. So we'll get data from the database. Pulling the data in, here's the line that makes my connection. So connection is new MySQLi. I specify the machine, which is the local one, the username, the password, and the database that I'm getting stuff from. I want to prepare an SQL statement, so that's my SQL statement. I am fixing the parameters, only one showing that I'm interested in at the moment, and the details, these are the fixed details, the ID, when it's starting, the screen, the image, the rating, the runtime, all of that. These are data that I want to replace in here. That's the SQL. Having created the SQL, I prepare the statement, and I think that's probably enough to test. Probably get some errors. Let's try it. PHP, what's it called? Performance. Nope, that all worked without an error. Fantastic. So no errors so far. I've prepared my statement, and now I want to run the statement. Execute the statement. I've made a mistake there. That's $dollar statement. Execute the command. I need to get the result. Now typically when we're doing a MySQL call, we get more than one row. In this case we're getting exactly one row. There'll only be one row of this table here. So this mechanism is geared to pulling back lots of rows. So this res, this is really a cursor. I'm going to call that cursor. So this is a cursor, it's a pointer into a table of results, get results, and I usually fetch one row at a time. In this case, I'm fetching exactly one row, and I'm going to put that in row. Okay, so I've got row is fetch a sock, ret is that, and just to demonstrate that it's working, you can see at the moment I had T4, so I set the title there to T4. I should be able to set it to the correct value here, $ret title. I should be able to set that equal to what I got back from the database, which is row, and that's an associative array, and the corresponding value is title. I'm not seeing title. How could I have missed title? Let's put title in there. So that's when, screen, title, rating, runtime. Okay, so let's put in title for everything except the thing I needed. So I'm pulling that now from the database, and if I delete this line here, that was train spotting 4. My fixed example here, I called it train spotting 3. The correct value is T2 train spotting. So if everything works, we should see when I reload this, we should see that 4 change back to 2, which is the correct value, and it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Let's have a look at the response. Fatal error. Okay, it starts getting quite hard to debug now. I can load this into a new tab. Open link in new tab and see the error happening properly. Undefined variable res on line 33. Let's take a look at line 33. Row res, yeah, I changed my mind. I was going to call that cursor. Okay, no more references to res. Let's write that out. Reload this. Good, that looks like the kind of JSON format I'm after, and I can actually check here to see that it's calling it T2 train spotting, so that did work. And if I reload here, good, I'm getting T2 train spotting. So I'm getting the title from the database, which means I can dump this line here. So I don't need that anymore, and I want to delete these things one at a time. What else am I getting? I'm getting the runtime, and I'm getting the rating. Let's just do all of those. Yank, paste, 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 paste. So title, I'm getting from the database now. I also want to get the date, but in the database that was called WHN. In the database I try to avoid anything that might be a reserved word, and date is a reserved word in loads of databases. So that's the date. I can do the same thing with screen, so change word screen, and that has got the same name in the JSON as it has in the database. What else have I got? Rating, and again that's got the same name in the JSON as it has in the database, so these are easy. Runtime, I haven't done runtime, and again the names correspond, so that's an easy change. I copied all of these. Image, let's do the image as well. Image is that, what's it called? So it's called image in the JSON, and in the database it's also called image. Okay, so if that works, it should be safe to delete these things here, get them from the database rather than hard code them. And I hope you can see what I'm eventually will end up with is this whole thing will be empty. This array here, I won't be setting any of these things. I can delete the date, I can delete the image, I can delete the screen. Did I do it? Yes, I did screen, and the rating. Yes, I've done rating as well, can delete that. And the runtime, I'm sure I did that. Okay, so those should be able to go, and this should still work. Reload, hard reload, yep, that's working perfect. Okay, so now all of these items, I'm getting them directly from the database rather than hard coding them. So if I go into the database and change things, then we should see the change coming through. I'm tempted to have a go. Is there anything? No, there's only the title I can change really. Maybe I can show that. We can change the title in the database and see that change coming through. So I'm going to come out of this. I'm going to go into MySQL, tilde MySQL. Oh, that was a bad thing I did there. I did tilde my, I should have done tilde slash my, and then I hit tab. And that means, I think it's searching the European system or something to find a user somewhere in Europe called tilde my. Okay, tilde slash MySQL. I don't know how many times I've done that. That's in the database. Select star from, was it performance or showing? I think it was called showing. Yep, okay, let's change train spotting. So let's change that. Let's have a nicer movie. Let's update showing, set title equals La La Land. A nice, happy, feel-good movie where that's going to be disappointing for the people who bought tickets for train spotting, isn't it? They're going to get a shock. And they're going and looking for some gritty thing about drug abuse. Mind you, La La Land, haven't seen it. Might be some of that in there. Okay, I've updated that. So I've changed the movie from train spotting to the polar opposite La La Land. When I reload this, fantastic. Movie's changed to La La Land. Let's put it back before someone notices. And we get complaints. That should be T2 train spotting. Okay, I think we got away with it. Nobody noticed. Okay, so we're getting fixed data. I'm getting a phone call. Okay, so we'll look at performance here. So what I've done is I've dealt with the easy stuff and I've just got the hard stuff to do now. So this TMAP is going to be tricky and UMAP is going to be tricky, but I've done the easy stuff. I've got some fixed data. I've read one row from the database. and I am generating JSON data on the fly. So that's the simple stuff done. In the next video, we'll tackle some of the harder structures and try and reproduce this JSON structure directly from the database.